I've been a dancer for about 17 years of my life, maybe 18. But that's barely a fraction of the story. Dance is as much of an art form as it is an art force. And this is a story of the journey that force has guided me through since I moved to Seattle nearly 3 years ago. I finished high school and performed a solo, and my mind and body wanted to be away with dance. What I thought would be my last performance for a while was at the War Memorial Opera House in front of 3,000 people, and it was such a memorable way to sign off. The next few months, I didn't dance at all. I entered college barely even thinking about it. Dance had always existed in this pocket for me. In the Bay Area, in San Francisco, in prestigious dance halls, in the South Bay, in sweaty dance studios. So there was a part of me that thought high school would be it. That I would go to college and this part of me would stay here. Of course, I would visit dance when I came to California, but I didn't know how it would fit in my life. I hadn't had more than a couple free Sundays since the age of 5. I had a new home to explore, studies to keep me busy, and I could hang out with my friends on Sunday instead. Enter college. German class, to be exact. Some guy who sat next to me said, "Do you want to go to salsa club?" And I said, yeah. So we went to salsa. And then week after week after week, we went. I can't even explain the giddy high from being on that dance floor, moving my hips around, meeting so many loving and fun new people, and twirling to Spanish music. I would go on to join salsa team too, performing at dance clubs at midnight, dancing with strangers at socials, and actually traipsing around in heels when before I had only ever entered the dance floor barefoot. Like I said, 13 years is a lot for one dance form, and this exploration filled me with a new joy and vibrancy that I hadn't felt in a long time. Then I think it was November. My feet missed doing footwork. I missed spinning at lightning speed. There were auditions coming up for a multicultural show on campus. So I put on a tank top and leggings and went to the university gym to dance. Some days I would do 2 run-throughs and awkwardly leave. Some days I would lose track of time. Most days I really pounded it out, but there were a good few when I wished no one was watching. And I got back into Kathak. At club talent shows, at performance showcases, in Studio 1A at the IMA. I just danced what I wanted. Nothing new or creative. I didn't try to improve, just had my technique and did whatever I felt like for however long or little time. See, I've always loved dance, but I didn't spend my whole life loving dance. There's that unwavering love you develop when you know dance has shaped you as a person, has given you a loving community, is responsible for some incredible opportunities and memories, and for making and keeping your body strong and healthy. But it's another thing to actively love showing up on the dance floor. Actively love working on pieces and technique, practicing at home, and actively love evolving and creating as a dancer. There's an expectation in the dance world to always be actively in love with what you're doing, and that simply isn't the case. But your passive love is so important, and it's not invalid. It's what will bring you back home when your active love seems to have fizzled out. My active love for dance blossomed when I let go of expectations. When I showed up in a studio or in my living room, only when my body naturally gravitated there. The dance floor is always there, waiting for you, with no judgment at all. There was one day that I was sitting in the car with my friend and I was explaining what Kathak is like. I can't remember the exact conversation, but it was something like me saying, "And there's a lot of fast, heavy footwork," and they said, "Oh, kind of like tap?" And I responded with, "No, like Kathak." I asked them, why does there need to be a Western parallel for everything? I mean, they didn't mean harm, and admittedly there's a lot of similarity between tap and Kathak, but why can't we accept the unfamiliarity and novelty of different cultures? and embrace the discomfort and discovery it takes to learn about them. Dance became my gateway drug to wholeheartedly embracing culture and working to spread it. Sure, people claim to enjoy Indian culture because they like butter chicken, mild. But here I had a form of culture in my body that wasn't watered down. I don't think I was ever not proud of being an Indian classical dancer. I mean, yeah, how could I be? This is objectively cool. But it's one thing to be Indian quietly, to call your parents from your room in your native language, to get Indian food with your Indian friends, to text your relatives Happy Diwali. It's another thing to be Indian loudly, to make heads turn in a gym as you pound out footwork with bells on your ankles, to make the walls of your house shake as your 9 white roommates learn about Indian culture not through stereotype but through sound. There is no way a dancer can explain the feeling of applause, the racing energy it sends through your body. And there is also no way a dancer can explain the moment of silence before the applause, when you wonder whether you'll be left alone in that silence. Seattle onwards, I entered the dance floor mostly alone. But each time that applause hit for me dancing alone, I was inspired to be Indian louder, to be a dancer louder, to be an ambassador of my culture louder. Passions are messy, and the path is never linear. So many times it will make no sense, and sometimes you simply need to start over with your passion and build a new relationship with it. I can't tell anyone to hang on to their art because everyone is on their own unique journey. For some, dance will exist as just a chapter in their life, to which there is absolutely no shame. But often your art will hang on to you. It will stay dormant in your bones, in your feet, and your fingertips, and there will be times when no matter how much you try, your feet can't help but move, and your ears can't help but perk up to rhythms. It's kind of like that song. Are we human? Or are we dancer? Some of us are born dancer. I certainly am. And I certainly will always be dancer.